Hello, welcome to Mind class. Today we are doing what is called a loaded class. So it's not what you think it is. You're gonna load up yourself with a weight if you want to, okay? You don't have to use a weight, but if you want to, you can. And I'm gonna show you some options here, okay? So your options are a weighted plate, okay? I got a 5 pound and a 2.5 pound, just depending on what the exercise is. I have a 5 pound dumbbell, or you can grab like a 2 or a 3 pound weight, or even a yoga block. So if you don't have a weight, but you kind of want to use a prop, a yoga block would work too, okay? So for example, when we come into our shoulder press, you would take the block and press like this. I'll try to use it as an example in some spots, okay? Or when we come into our narrow row, wide row, narrow row, wide row, you just use the blocks instead of a weight. The reason we're using a weight today is to kind of load yourself to the ground. It's just something extra to help you really root yourself in the ground today, okay? But that's what we're gonna do. Everything will be, let's see, we're going through our mobility, stability, and flexibility today. That is the order, okay? Everything's gonna be a minute long, so we'll have plenty of time to work through the exercises at your own pace. We're gonna start with our warm-up. If you have your weight or yoga block, your mat, water, maybe a sweat towel, I don't know, and play your own music, all right? I'm gonna start the clock and we will begin. So we're gonna start with, there we go. We're gonna start with a block, a dumbbell, holding it head to head, or your weighted plate in 2 hands, okay? Toes are forward, about hip width, maybe wider. We're gonna go ahead and lower your arms straight down. Fold forward like you're doing a deadlift. Reach up with the weight and then rise up, okay? And if you have no weight, you're just gonna reach your hands to shoulder height and then rise back up. So fold forward, tailbone comes behind you, long straight spine, proud chest, and then rise up. You're using your hamstrings and your glutes to lift you to the top, okay? What I love about this is you'll notice imbalances. So for me, for example, raising this weight to shoulder height, folded forward, that's not easy. I know that I have really tight shoulders, and that's where my imbalance comes into play, okay? And so focusing on something like this, your mobility through your shoulders and your hips, will hopefully help loosen things up. You do have straight arms reaching forward, so try to keep the bend out of your elbow. Give me one more. Hold the weight straight down. You can let it hang, hold it head to head, hold the yoga block kind of hanging down. We're gonna tilt our chin to our chest, drop our shoulders, start rolling through our spine towards the ground, rounding everything out nice and slow. And then coming up in reverse. So shoulders, then your chin, and then your head. And we're gonna do it again, okay? So adjust your weight. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it this way so I can get a little further to the ground in my stretch. Toes are forward. You're rounding through your spine, rolling down and rolling back up. A little spinal curve. Should feel really good. 5 seconds to finish that up. Next up, we're gonna head into a squat with an overhead reach. So with or without your weight, you're gonna squat down, reach overhead, lower, stand. Squat, reach straight arms overhead. You wanna try to get your biceps by your ears while keeping your chest lifted and your tailbone back. This is challenging for many. Again, it's about your alignment, your kinetic chain from your head, shoulders, knees, and toes. All right, and your hips, include your hips in there. Head, shoulders, hips, knees, and toes. But the more that we work on our flexibility and our mobility, the better we get at keeping our chest lifted and getting our weight over our heads, biceps by the ears. Maybe you don't sink down as far and you bring your arms up. See, is that a little bit easier? Start there. And then work your way down. All right, go ahead and let's take some side bends. You can switch the weight from side to side or use no weight. Actually, I just remembered what this one is exactly. You can keep doing that if you'd like, or you can take the weight overhead or the yoga block overhead, and we're gonna reach. So you'll see as soon as you add a weight, if you do, whoa, what a difference that makes. All right, overhead, side bend. Yes, you hear me struggling for words because my abdominals are clenching as we side bend. All right, toughest one yet. Oh, maybe I should have grabbed the 2.5 pounds. And you know what? Ditch the weight if you need to, but you do feel a difference. A stretch if you add the load to it. Okay, we're gonna come into our chops here. Chopping up, chopping up. Let's take it one direction at a time. I'll tell you when to switch sides. Swing upwards. Bend your knees, shift your body weight to your heel, lift the other one, and then switch heels, okay? So I have one heel lifted as I twist and rotate down, and then reach, chop up. Let's do the other side. So bend into your standing leg where the weight goes, heel down, and then heel up, okay? Use your obliques, power through your legs and your glutes. Now is when we're gonna head into one side at a time. So go ahead and slow yourself down. Take your weight or dumbbell in your right hand, fold forward, tuck your tummy in, row narrow, flip your wrist, row wide, flip your wrist, row narrow, flip it, row wide, flip it. Oh yeah. Not only are you squeezing your shoulder blade towards your back and working your back muscle, you are working the mobility in your shoulder joint each time you turn your wrist. Your wrist, okay? If this bothers your lower back, you can hold on to a chair or couch, put your body weight into that a little bit. You can also put your hand on your other thigh, support your body weight. Otherwise, core tight. Can you bend over a little bit more? I can. Focus more on the back and the shoulder. Last one here. Rise up and let's switch other side, okay? So that's 2 minutes of being bent over. If you need to hold on to something, hold on to something, like a couch, right? So narrow, flip it, wide. Narrow, turn your palm to you and do your wide row. Narrow row, palm faces in, wide row, palm faces you. So please take the time to rotate your shoulder joint. Take the time to squeeze your blade towards your midline of your spine. Retract your shoulder blade back, retract it towards your spine. A big 90-degree angle on your wide row, okay? Great time to work on form, whether you have the weight or not. And last one. All right, this is where I'm going to switch out and use the yoga block. We're gonna go 90-degree bend like a hangman. Flip it up, press it up, come back down, release, rotate at your shoulder joint, core tight. I'm gonna give a slight bend in my knees. I'm not locking out my knees so I don't pass out, right? Nobody wants that this morning. All right. Whew. Everything feels really warm. This would be a good thing to do before a cardio workout or before a bike ride or walk or run, anything that you do We need to feel warm and mobile before you go play tennis. This would be awesome. Your shoulders would be all loose. Before you golf, all you gotta do is just 10 minutes. That's it. That's how much this I can talk. I did this yesterday too. This is how long this particular section is. It's 10 minutes. So we're doing 10 minutes of each section: mobility, stability, flexibility, all the abilities, okay? You're gonna be the most able person ever when you're done with this. That's what I'm getting at. Shoulder mobility, hip mobility, all of it. We're gonna work on it. And then you go out and you go golfing, you go do your fun things, bike riding, and you'll be like, man, that was such a good golf game today. I worked on my mobility. Baseball, what else do you use your shoulders for? What other sports? Frisbee golf, I don't know. I've never been. Oh. So you're keeping those elbows at 90 degrees, right? Okay. This is actually perfect for me. It's exactly what I need when I talk about my shoulders being really tight and a lack of mobility there. All right, good job. We're gonna take a swing side lunge, so you can use your block or a weight. Nice wide stance, toes are forward, and you're gonna push into your heel, and then push into your other heel. We are shifting our body weight from side to side. Try your best to keep your knee behind your toes, okay? So check yourself, take a little peek down with your eye gaze. Is your knee behind your toes? You might need to stick your butt back more in order to do so. Push your heel into the ground, push your butt back, but keep your chest up, okay? So pretend like you have something on your shirt. You want me to read it, and you keep your chest up as you shift back with your bottom. You get a little bit lower then once you've fixed yourself. I hear my hips popping. It's working. Shifting through the hips. All right, go ahead and stop right there. Walk yourself in. We're gonna use one weight or your block. Opposite arm, opposite leg. We're gonna go into a single leg Romanian deadlift or a warrior three. So I'm gonna start with my right leg on the ground. I'm gonna come forward and row. Row. Here is our stability portion of class. So obviously right now we're stabilizing ourselves on our standing leg. The row is an additional movement. It's almost as if it wants us to fight our balance, but we fight for it. When you add the row, you're adding a moving part. It challenges your balance rather than standing still. You take this row at your own pace. You fall out of your warrior three, come back in. You need to put your toe down in the back, put your toe down in the back. If you have something to hold on to, you need a little extra help on your balance to hold yourself up. Please do. Let's go ahead and stand upright. That leg is on fire. Switch sides. Let's even it out. All right, and remember that one leg might feel different than the other. You might be stable on one leg more than on the other. You might have better balance on one side than the other. Let's work out those imbalances and work on both legs today, okay? Your hips are facing the ground. Your shoulders are facing the ground. So it's not a hip turnout as if you were in a half moon. You're pointing your toe. All these little things. You're keeping your abs tight. Shoulder blade pulls towards your midline. You're rowing your elbow above your rib cage. Find something to gaze upon ahead of you. All right, I said something about a sweat towel earlier. This is the spot. Starting to sweat. It's a good sweat. Whew, it's a good glisten. All right, cool. All right, done with that. Right leg's gonna turn out. Left leg's gonna face forward. Left arm is gonna have the weight in it. You're gonna reach your palm towards me, and you're gonna lower down, windmill, and back up. Lower down and back up. It's almost like a triangle with your legs as you come down. back up. I'm going to switch the grip of my weight here. Better. With or without your weight, you could do this with your yoga block. Hinge at the hips. Long torso. So you see, if you are using a prop, a dumbbell, a plate, it adds an element. Like I said, it loads your body and almost forces you to the ground, right? Root yourself a little bit deeper into the ground. Let's switch sides. So go ahead and turn your toe the opposite direction, feet perpendicular. Just like in a triangle, windmill down. Eye gaze can go upwards towards your weight, okay? I know a tendency is you're gonna wanna look down toward your toe. I'm gonna ask you to look upwards. You can check your toe and check yourself just to make sure you're in alignment, but then look up. I think it'll help you with your balance. As well as just keeping your core tighter and keeping your lines between your arms longer. It'll lengthen you out a little bit more. Your arms should be straight stacked. I'm trying to check myself. I'm not very stacked. I'm a little bit off. Maybe a diagonal. All right, this next one I'm going to grab my block for. This is actually why I took out, no I'm not. I'm going to grab this lightweight. This is why I took out this lightweight. So we're going to keep our right leg forward and our left arm up in the air. You lunge back. Oh boy. And step up. Keeping your arm overhead the whole time. That's it. Just keep that arm overhead. Lunge back, find your balance and stabilize yourself. And then step up in your front heel. So something heavy would really, put some pressure on your shoulder. It definitely adds an element. I'll say that. About one more. And then we switch into the other side. Keep going. Windmill is tough. You like it? Yeah, I'm getting a little bit breathless. We're going to switch sides. I'm getting a little bit breathless too. The windmill is a tough one, but it's a good one. I like that one. Imagine doing it with a heavier weight, right? Some people do it with a heavier weight. I can't top load that heavy on that one yet. But someday. I think this one's a tough one. Holding this over your head. All right, in this next exercise, though, we are going to ditch the weight. Oh. Breathe. My heart rate's going up a little bit. I forgot to set my watch, darn it. I'll have to plug it in later. All right, we're going to lose the weight, and we're coming down into a plank. It's a 3-point on the ground, so if you remember this one, spread your fingertips out wide in a plank. You're going to come to a side plank. You're going to take your top leg, bend it, and stick it behind you, and then reach. So if you want to put a dumbbell or something in your hand here, you can. I'm not. I don't think it's necessary right now to help us with the load to the ground. I'm okay without it. So it's almost like a wild thing or a flip, but we're in more of a side plank here, okay? If you need to come down to an elbow, come to an elbow. I'm on the blade of my bottom leg, the ball of my top leg. 3 points on the ground. Everything's shaking. I'm lifting my obliques up, my hips are up, and I want you to do the same. Shoulder is directly over my wrist. Yours should be too. All right, lower yourself down. You can grab a weight for a weighted full sit-up. We're gonna reach to the ceiling. Remember, the further out your legs are, the less challenging it will be. So if you need to lighten up the challenge, straighten your legs. Full reaching sit-up, okay? Otherwise, bend them and reach. Your arms aren't moving, your arms are straight. So straighten up your elbows. lift through your abdominals. There's a point where you want to jump and jerk your abs up. Try to fight through it and pull. What's the worst thing that happens? You go into a crunch, totally fine. You're still working your abdominal muscles, same thing, okay? Just less range of motion. You have time for one more, and then we're going to do the 3-point. Lord bless us on the other side. This is the side where I think I have to come to my elbow. So on your hand or your elbow, you're going to come to a side plank. I'm going to be on my elbow on this one. If you need to come to your hand, and then that foot comes back. There we go. Whew, okay, breathe. I'm going to start my watch now, so at least something counts. Gotta have something count here today. Whew. Lift your hips, get your obliques up there, okay? We don't want to be sunken down like this. You want to be lifted in a straight line from your armpit down to the side of your foot, okay? We are going to go back to, let's see, did we do our lunge on the other side? Did not, right? Okay, we have to stand up, we have to do our lunge with the weight on the other side, okay? So, I know, it's like backwards here. So other side, taking it down and back. It should be your left leg forward and the weight in your right hand now, okay? I've been noticing lately too, my voice is off of my lip movement, my mouth movement. I have to play with that latency again. You guys, I haven't switched anything in my settings and it just automatically sets it off and I don't know why. So each class, and we have to play with it, I think. I'm just not gonna know until afterwards. So for tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow's class, maybe I'll switch the setting and we'll see how it goes. That's the technology side that I just struggle with. I need an audio guy or gal. Help me with that part. All right, lower your weight. Stability is done. Let's head into flexibility. Woo. Okay. I don't think we need a weight for any of this stuff. No, we don't. So go ahead and slide those out of the way. We're going to come down to a half kneel. So if you need something, I'm going to grab it, or a pad for your knees. Okay. Grab a pad for your knees. Half kneeling, hip flexors. So reach forward with your hips. And then let's take a reverse twist. If you'd like to switch and go the other way, you're welcome to. And then come back to your reverse twist. Okay, that's a great way to work through your spine. I'm actually feeling this in like my lower back, where it attaches to my glutes and my hips, which is a really great stretch. Definitely something I need. And then here's where the magic happens. We're doing that foot grab, that quad stretch. You ready for it? Everybody's gonna grab, there we go. So much easier than I keep thinking it's gonna be. Now comes the hard part, holding your balance. So pull your heel towards your butt. And find some balance here. I'm going to keep pulling my heel a little closer to see if I can get the front of my quad stretched out a little bit more. How about you? Can you do it? I'm going to keep going for it. Oh yeah, just touched my butt. Okay, cool. Big stretch on your quad. We did squats yesterday. If you did class, this would be a great way to stretch that out. Tall, shoulders stacked over your hips, over your knee, okay? So we want to be nice and tall for our spine. We're not like heaving forward. Good posture. Core tight. Keep pulling that heel. All right, release it. Coming to the world's greatest stretch, we are going to come into a twisted low lunge. Hands come down, and we sink back, hamstring stretch. heel down, toe up, back down to your twisted lunge. Hands come on the instep. You can even come all the way up to a hamstring stretch, okay? Otherwise, just keep it down here. Low lunge. Remember, this is your own pace. So if you want to hold one move longer than the other, go ahead. Just switch between the two. Heel down, toe up. Hamstring stretch, chest forward. Crown of your head comes to me. My crown of my head's coming to you, okay? Whew. Oh, this feels so good on the hamstrings. I'm just going to hold it here. All right, coming down to a 90-90. Let's keep the front leg front. Bend it, and then bend your back leg. We're going to reach forward. And then when you're ready and you want to, you're going to turn and reach to the side. And then when you're ready, you're going to come forward again, okay? So you move between each front and side, okay, each one. If one's just heavenly to you right now, stay there. This one's heavenly to me right now. I'm going to stay here. You're reaching as far forward as you can. You're folding yourself as far forward as you can. And when you come to the side, you're still reaching yourself forward, okay? Just for the record, I really am glistening sweat right now, so my body is getting warm. So if you are sweating too, yes, you're not alone. Come into a child's pose. We're going to thread the needle. So we're going to alternate between sides. Hand goes through the armpit, walk the other hand forward. You can lay your forehead on the ground, your cheek on the ground, whatever you can get down there. Come up and let's switch. If you've already switched, that's fine. You keep flowing at your own pace. Draw your bottom towards your heels. Switch again if you haven't yet. Open up your shoulder blade. Switch again if you haven't yet. We're doing about 20 seconds on each side, okay? So we're going to just settle here before repeating everything we just did on the other side. We are so blessed to be doing this together today. I really do feel blessed because I need more of this in my life, and I love that we're stopping on a Tuesday to do this, pausing our time, pausing anything else that was going on in our lives to get this done. So lean forward a little bit at the hips, and when you're ready, place your hand down and twist open. And if you'd like to switch into the other side, just to turn and twist through the spine, then twist through the spine, and then come back to your reverse twist here. You guys can see my phone sitting there. I have it propped up kind of high. That's what's in the corner of the screen. If you're like, what the heck is that? Noticed it. I'll have to lower that down a little bit. All right, so this is where the foot grab comes. See how this side does. I don't know why this one makes me so nervous. Like I'm gonna fall over. Yeah, I'm gonna fall over. Okay, there we go. There we go. Find your balance. We can add stability to this one. And then start drawing your heel towards your butt. And you pull it. Side does not want to go. Muscles are nice and warm now, so this is when we really want to challenge our flexibility. Don't overstretch, but definitely try to stretch deep into each of these movements. All right, I pulled it to my butt, but it does not feel good. So when that happens, I know release some of the tension. Challenge myself, challenge the tension, but don't overdo it. And I want you to think about that too as you're going through these stretches. All right, world's greatest stretch. So low twisted lunge. Reach open. Oh, that feels so good. And then sink back, heel down, toe up. from the side angle, low twisted lunge. And then I'm keeping both legs straight, almost like the letter A, or like a V. Heel down, toe up. And reach it open. Heel down, toe up. All right, 90-90 is going to be next. The front leg can come down, bend it at 90 degrees, bend the back leg at 90 degrees, and then let's fold it on forward. And go ahead and fold yourself, turn yourself. Yeah, this is the right direction. Okay, oh goodness. I kind of wish we were in the same room together because I think all of us would be going, oh, I'd love to listen to all of us kind of moaning together where we're tight. Misery loves company, you know, so. We have one more move after this. It's a child's pose. So let's get deep into our 90-90 here. So on the other leg, this side, when I went to the side, it wasn't as tight, but on this side, it's really tight. So I liked that side stretch there for me on the other side. So see how imbalanced we can be? All right, knees out wide, toes together, child's pose. Lay your forehead to the ground and take your hands behind you. Drape them along the sides of your body. And just breathe and relax. So what's one thing you can tell me that you're feeling right now that you didn't feel before we started today? My word would be loose. I was really tight before we started, and now I am very loose, and I like it. A little bit like Jell-O, in a good way. Take a few deep breaths. Get yourself and your mind set for the day ahead of you. Go ahead and come up out of that, sit on your sit bones. Think about the day ahead and how you can set a positive mindset right now, okay? It's going to be a busy day. It's going to be a hectic day, whatever it might be for you. Just know that you're going to get through it because you took this time for yourself today to honor your body. I would call this self-care. You took care of yourself today. So thank you for showing up and for doing this class. I really like this one. This is one of my favorites, I think. And I did like adding the weight to it today. It added definitely that extra element. So you will see this come back again. But in the meantime, pick up this class anytime you want. Like I said, play that first 10 minutes. Maybe do this part, this last 10 minutes before bed every night. I swear it's going to help us with our flexibility, our mobility, and our stability, all the abilities that I have. I just know that it's good for us. It's good for you, it's good for me, and we're just happier people when we have everything balanced and feeling like this, don't we? All right, I will be back here with you tomorrow for Warrior Rhythm, so I will see you here at 9, and see you guys then. Thanks for coming. Bye.